Grand Rising Loungers. I hope everybody is doing as great as I am today. Shout out to all of you who will be coming in the building and those of you who will catch the replay. Guys, we've got a lot to get into this morning. We've got all types of stuff going on with Nipsey, with R. Kelly, with LL Cool J's alleged son. Okay. Also, Karl Malone is in the news. So we're going to definitely be talking about this. And I am also going to highlight my lovely Tiff P and her wonderful show last night. There was a lot of commentary that came out in the show, and I definitely wanted to touch bases on a lot of the comments that came out. I did miss the show, but I did catch the replay. So we are going to talk about those things. And of course, I always want you guys to go over and subscribe to their channels so that you can see all the tea that's going on somebody else's channel. But we definitely do the commentary on that here on the morning opinion. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I am going to skip the mindfulness today because I do have some things I have to do in about an hour and a half. So I'm going to give you guys this quick time and then we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Okay.
It's Black Lounge Entertainment and the time is right with T-Pre.
Shout out to all the hustlers out here on YouTube, okay? Because yes, honey, it is really a thing to be hustling here on YouTube. Shut Up and React TV definitely said something about this yesterday. And I'm going to go ahead and read what he said. He said, if you've been on YouTube beefing, arguing, doxing, and screaming, and a Google deposit didn't hit your account today, whether it's $100 or $10,000, you're doing it wrong. Salute to all my 22nd of the monthers. Yeah. I know you doing it for fun. Shout out to Shut Up and React TV. Because yes, there's a lot of people that get out here and say, oh, I'm just doing this just because, and I'm just doing this for fun and all this other BS, when in actuality, are you doing this for fun or are you going to go ahead and make a bag out of this, right? Because those of us that are making a bag out of this, we actually make, get a check every single month from Google Sense. Okay. So just make sure that when you're doing this properly. Okay. If you're going to be doxing, if you're going to be looking up people's information, if you're going to be throwing information out here, make sure that you're getting paid. Okay. That's all I got to say about that. But shout out again to Shut Up and React TV for that, because that is so true. Now, let's get into this story of Karl Malone, okay? Now, allegedly, we do know this, and he's actually spoken on this, that he has a son that does play for the NFL. And we're going to get into this situation because there's been a lot going on lately and a lot of information coming out about specific people that have pedophile tendencies, okay? So we're definitely going to get into this commentary today. Grand Rising, Miss Murph, I appreciate you for being in the chat, and everybody else that is in the clouds. Again, make sure that you guys do hit the like button. So Karl Malone allegedly impregnated a 13-year-old girl, okay? When he was a Utah Jazz legend, he committed this heinous crime that resulted in the birth of an NFL player, okay? So Karl Malone did allegedly impregnate a 13-year-old girl, and he had this wonderful NBA career, as we all know about, okay? But off court, the Utah Jazz legend was involved in multiple scandals. Okay, and I do know about other scandals that he had allegedly been involved with, but this one is him impregnating a 13-year-old. Now, the Jazz forward held second place in all-time scoring list for a long time before LeBron James eventually surpassed him. He goes down as perhaps the top 3 forward of all time, and he was the main player responsible for the Jazz reaching back-to-back championships in the 90s. So if Jordan wasn't around, there's a good chance that Malone could have ended his career with 2 rings as well, okay? But regardless of what he did on the court, his image will always be clouded by the fact that he wasn't that great of a person per se as a whole, okay? Now, what it turns out to be is that he allegedly impregnated this 13-year-old girl when he was 20 years old and a student at Louisiana Tech. He further chose not to parent this child as well, okay? So not only did he have, commit statutory rape against a 13-year-old. But then he also, after impregnating her, didn't even take care of the child, allegedly. Okay. So this is like a big deal. Everybody's been kind of talking about this a lot lately. Now, allegedly, the son has spoken on this as well. Okay. And he is saying, hey, this is what happened. My father didn't take care of me, per se, but he's in my life now. We talk to each other, we hang out. His mother's name is Gloria, but they do talk to each other, him and his father, but they have kind of a strained relationship just based on the fact that he wasn't there and also the circumstances surrounding the situation. Okay. Wondering why her family never pressed charges against him. I really can't really speak to that. But according to her, she's saying that, yes, they could have pressed charges against him, but they just simply didn't. And I'm assuming it had something to do with, him being as popular as he was. I don't know if that's what it was or what the case may be. But the bottom line is they literally did nothing about this. And now he has a son, okay, who plays for the NFL and who does pretty well for himself. And like he said, hey, I don't need my father. I never really needed him, but it is what it is, kind of in a situation like that. So you guys let me know what y'all think in the comments below in regards to this matter. I think it is absolutely ridiculous that men get away with stuff like this, and that, they're just kind of able to do these types of things and nobody pushes back on them. But the ultimate person or people that should have pushed back on this situation should have been this girl's parents, right? Somebody should have been saying something at that time. And the fact that they wait till now when, the son is an adult, and he's has his own NFL career, it makes me wonder why they're looking to push this story now, or why they're looking to talk about this now. This story did actually come up a couple years ago, but now it's being pushed through the blogs again. And it just makes you wonder, like, what the reasoning is, I mean, this was years ago. Okay. So, and I'm not saying that, to, kind of push it under the rug or pretend that it's not a big deal. It absolutely is a big deal. But I'm not sure if, it's such big of a deal that we should now be are we trying to put him in jail? You know what I mean? Like, what is the end game for this? I'm not particularly understanding. But, again, if we had caught this a few years ago, had caught this several years ago, several decades ago, right, it might have been something that could have been prosecuted or something that could have been dealt with at that particular time. But, these are the times that we're living in. At that particular time, a lot of stuff like that was, in fact, pushed under the rug, and people got away with stuff like this for years. So, it is what it is. I can't say, what happened with this situation. All I can say is good luck to his son. Good luck to Gloria Bell, who is the mother, and Karl Malone, too. I don't know how he's going to work this out, but unfortunately, this is something that he is, in fact, facing. So let's go ahead and get into this situation with Nipsey Hussle and Eric Holder, okay? So the man convicted of killing rapper Nipsey Hussle has been sentenced to 60 years in prison. Eric Holder was found guilty of first-degree murder last July for killing Nipsey Hussle, whose name is Ermias Esgadam, outside Nipsey Hussle's South Los Angeles clothing store in 2019. So Hussle, a Grammy-nominated artist, died at the age of 33, and 2 bystanders were also hit and injured in this incident. Superior Court Judge H. Clay Jack announced Holder's 60-year life sentence on Wednesday after hearing from one of Hussle's friends, as well as reading a letter from Holder's father. Holder was found guilty of murder as well as 2 counts of attempted voluntary manslaughter for the 2 bystanders injured in the shooting after a months-long trial. He was not eligible for the death penalty and was widely expected to receive a life sentence. Wearing an orange jail attire, he did not react when his sentence was read out. And again, his photo is on the screen. Holder's attorney told the news that he planned to appeal this verdict. It was always going to be a tough, quote unquote, it was always going to be tough given the high profile circumstances surrounding the case, says attorney Aaron Jansen. And prosecutors said during the murder trial that the attack was premeditated, while Holder's defense team argued that it was a heat of the moment decision. Holder's defense attorney said that he was provoked by conversation he had with Hustle about rumors that he was cooperating with the cops. And Hustle was struck by gunfire at least 10 times after Holder kicked him in the head and then fled the scene, according to Los Angeles Deputy District Attorney John McKinney, and according to the Associated Press. So rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. His killer has, in fact, been sentenced to 60 years. It is not a life sentence, but, hey, 60 years is a long time. He will at least be an old man before he even looks at getting out of jail. So, if he ever actually gets out of jail. But, it's really sad what happened here. These two Black men that have kind of lost their lives. Also, the families that have suffered behind this, the children, their wives, different situations that have suffered behind this terrible tragedy. But it is a long time coming. It was something that was going to happen regardless, since he had been convicted, and also since he had been caught. That at some point he was going to suffer for this. So the final verdict is 60 years for him. And that's what he's got. Now, I don't know if they're going to keep him in regular population just simply because of who he is and because of who he killed and where he's located, right? There's a lot of people that, because Nipsey was allegedly part of the Rolling 60s, that there's a lot of people that are in prison that would be down for Nipsey. And so they very well may do something to harm this man while he's in there, right? I can't see them keeping him in regular population, but they very well might. I don't know, But either way, whatever it is, he deserves what he gets from this situation for taking such a talented man, and a man who really was for his people. So again, rest in peace to Nip, and may God continue to bring peace to his family and to his children, his mother, and everyone else that was affected by this matter. Now, let's go ahead and get quickly into R. Kelly's situation, okay? Because there is a lot going on with R. Kelly. As everybody knows, he's been in the news a lot lately, just simply because of the young woman, Legina Gold, that's come forward saying that she is R. Kelly's daughter, okay? And she's also Aaliyah's daughter, okay? That is Legina Gold, for those of y'all who don't know. But R. Kelly is looking at a large amount of time, and also may possibly not even get out of jail until he's 100 years old, or at least shy of his 100th birthday. Okay, so the superstar turned felon R. Kelly wouldn't be eligible for release until 2066, according to, if he is sentenced to what the prosecutors are looking for him to receive, which would be a year shy of his 100th birthday. So if a federal judge accepts prosecutors' recommendations at his sentencing hearing on Thursday, which is today, then this is what he's looking at. So Kelly, who is 56, will be sentenced on his convictions from last year in Chicago of child P and enticement. He is already serving 30 years for his 2021 racketeering and sex trafficking convictions in New York. The central question for Judge Harry Lineweber is whether to order that Kelly serve a Chicago sentence simultaneously with the New York sentence, or that he starts serving his Chicago sentence only after he completes the New York term. So if the singer is ordered to serve the sentences one after the other, that would practically erase any chance of him ever getting out of prison alive, okay? Now, here is a look at kind of the potential sentences that he could receive. So prosecutors are kind of asking for this. So in a sentence memo last week, they recommended that R. Kelly receive 25 years and that he serve it consecutively to the New York sentence. Prosecutors also described Kelly as a serial sexual predator who used his fame and wealth to reel in starstruck fans, to sexually abuse and then discard them. They say that he has shown no remorse. And jurors in Chicago convicted Kelly on 3 counts, each of producing child P and the enticement of minors for sex. Kelly was acquitted for the marquee count alleging he successfully rigged his 2008 state child P trial. And prosecutors acknowledged a 25-year sentence would be higher than sentencing guidelines suggested, and that a consecutive sentence would be more tantamount to a life sentence. But they argued Kelly's desire to sexually abuse children is insatiable, and such a sentence was required to protect the community from him. Now it says, what sentence does the defense want? So Kelly's lawyer, Jennifer Bonjean, asked for a sentence of around 10 years on the low end of the guideline range. She also requested in a series of pre-sentence filings that whatever prison sentence Lineweber imposes, he allow Kelly to serve it at the same time as the New York sentence. Bonjean said Kelly's existing 30-year term alone means he won't be eligible for release until he is around 80, and that his new consecutive sentence would be a second life sentence. She said an extended sentence for Kelly, who is Black, would also be disproportionate, given that, according to her, white rock stars have long gotten away with behavior for which Kelly was convicted. I 100% do agree with her on that. And I also don't think that he has this quote unquote insatiable, desire to sexually abuse children. Okay. I think they're using, word semantics and just using a lot of stuff to inflate kind of this situation. I'm not in any way taking away from what R. Kelly has done. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be where he's at, but I don't think he needs to be in there till he's 100 years old. I really just don't. I honestly don't. So let's go ahead and keep going with what are the criteria for a consecutive sentence. So by statute, the default for judges is to allow defendants to serve their sentences simultaneously, which courts call concurrently, okay? Which effectively means that they serve only the longest sentence imposed, which is what happened with what's his name? The guy that was killed, George Floyd's killer. Okay, that cop received concurrent life sentence. He received concurrent sentences. Okay, and other ones, have received those such things for even worse crimes. Okay, so I can't see why a judge wouldn't want to do that. But if they conclude a defendant's crimes were particularly egregious, they can decide that the only way to deter such crimes is to order sentences to be served one after the other. Judges are more likely to order a simultaneous sentence to a sentence imposed in a previous case if the crimes in that two cases are related. While prosecutors say Kelly's victims in the Chicago case are different, the defense says the allegations were substantially the same. So prosecutors are arguing and say that Kelly's crimes were particularly egregious because they involved children, enticing girls as young as 14 and 15 for sex. Which I guess I can, with that, I do have a problem with that. And I do know that according to them and according to evidence, he was going over to these high schools and these McDonald's and stuff like that and picking up these young girls. So making those crimes worse, they say that Kelly sought to memorialize his exploitations by filming them. Some videos became available online, which exacerbated the harm to society. Okay, I can see where they're coming from with that. And because Kelly is Kelly, more people have watched Child P. They're filling in. The effects of Kelly's conduct are wide-ranging, incalculable, and irreversible. Now, the defense is saying, and Bonjean accused prosecutors of offering an embellished narrative in their sentencing memo to inflame the passions of the public and the court against Kelly. And I think that she is kind of right. I think they are embellishing this a bit, making it a bit more, but that is their job, right? Making it more than what it really, really appears to be. And then it says that she also said that they have sought to get the judge to join what she called the government's bloodthirsty campaign to make Kelly a symbol of the Me Too movement. I don't agree with that. I think Kelly's behavior was Kelly's behavior, and he deserves to be, prosecuted for it. The government insists on exaggerating Kelly's misdeeds, sounding more like a teaser for the next installation of Surviving R. Kelly, the lawyer said. And that is a reference to Lifetime's 2019 docuseries of Surviving R. Kelly, which featured testimonies by his accusers, including several who testified at the 2022 Chicago trial. Now, Bonjean also hit back at prosecutors for arguing that her client never expressed remorse, right? And they really don't know that. I agree with that. They don't really know if R. Kelly has expressed remorse. He may not have done that in their face, but but I mean, I don't know. We don't know, right? But she said Kelly had a right to remain silent as he appears, and that prosecutors shouldn't be permitted to use her advice to Kelly not to speak as proof he lacks remorse. And I agree with that. If it is the law that gives us the right not to speak during trial, we have the right to not incriminate ourselves, the right to not speak. Yeah, we have that right. And a prosecutor doesn't have the right to push that as proof that, I'm not remorseful. I agree with that. She added that Kelly's own abuse as a child and illiteracy throughout adulthood also justified leniency. I don't agree to that. That the conduct that led to charges happened decades ago should also be factored in. I do agree that the fact that this happened decades ago should be factored into how long he will be in jail, right? Kelly-born Robert Sylvester Kelly rose from poverty in Chicago to superstardom with hits like I Believe I Can Fly and Bump and Grind. And of course he has suffered multiple legal woes and financial troubles based off of what has happened with this situation. But hopefully he will try to find a way to get through this in some kind of way. Kelly, the final question from them is if Kelly will be addressing the court at sentencing. So it's not clear at this time if he will, though he risks Judge Weber holding that against him if he chooses not to say anything, right? I do think he may want to speak up for himself at this point. And judges do like to hear from, and expressions of remorse kind of at sentencing. And most defendants do kind of try to speak and give some kind of, conversation to the judge. So hopefully R. Kelly will speak on his own behalf in this situation. But who knows? But I don't think that Kelly should spend, upwards of up to his 100th birthday in prison. I really don't. Not for this, especially when there's other people who have done much worse things and have spent much less time in jail, right? Particularly white counterparts in the same industry that have done particularly worse things, and have, not that this isn't bad, but particularly worse things that have spent much less time in prison. So who knows? We'll see what happens in this situation. But again, I don't want to make this into a black man in prison type of situation. I really don't. I'm not going to go down that path of, get him out because he's a black man and get him out of there. He don't deserve to be in jail because he's a black man and they're using his blackness against him and all this other stuff. No. We're not about to do that with him. We definitely not about to do that with him. And that's my opinion of R. Kelly, Nipsey, and Karl for today. Now, I am going to touch base on LL Cool J and his real son, okay? But there is a story that has been out lately in regards to a young man named Love for Benji, okay? And I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to present to you my screen so that I can share this video with you guys, okay? Because it's really funny what I saw in this video. But shout out to this man named Love for Benji, because what he did was he created this video, right? And he's claiming that LL Cool J is his biological father in this video, okay? And Jaguar Wright and Legina Gold have been kind of milking that story, okay? So they've been trying to milk this story, talking about how LL Cool J has this long lost son who's been out here claiming that he is the son of LL, okay? But I'm gonna let y'all listen to this story and just kind of hear what he says. and then we're going to go from there. All right. So let me play his video real quick. And let me turn up the volume.
Is now at the age that I am, they made me sign paperwork. You know, they didn't want to go public since probably around COVID. They wanted to silence me. Ever since my mother really told me the truth, I feel like it should be public. You know, I need to just get this off my chest. I want to give thanks to you too, man. James Ty Smith. That's what I know him as. Father, great man. But many of you probably know him as LL Cool J. Blocked me from all social medias. I tried to take trips to see him, you know, him, his beautiful wife, siblings, brothers and sisters. I never knew why I wanted to make music, why I wanted to be an actor, why I wanted to be these things. Turns out my father is LL Cool J. I'm blessed. I'm thankful. He'll send me money every now and then, probably $200 a month, but it ain't about the money. Bless me with the charm, the ladies, charisma. I really didn't want to take it here and have the blogs blow it up or nothing like that. Since he blocked my number, I haven't heard much from him. I feel like this how I'll be able to reach out to him. That's my truths. Let me know, Dad. Stay smooth. Bless. Takes a lot of courage.
So first of all, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and talk about this. So number one, okay. Hold on, I didn't mean to go off of that screen. Number one, I want to show y'all kind of like the rest of his Instagram, okay, because clearly he was playing around, okay, and I want y'all to see that he definitely was playing around, okay, because there are people out here that are really going with this whole thing, okay, that this is LL's son, and it is very clear that this guy is, in fact, a comedian. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and prove that right now and just kind of show you guys kind of the stuff that he does, you know, and just kind of show you guys the things that he likes to do and kind of makes people laugh and different things like that. So after he did that video, right, here's another video of his.
Get the fuck back. What did you call me?
I called you, sir.
Get out of there! Get out of there! Get out of there! You get out of there!
I thought he.
Got you, coach. Got you, coach.
Damn, coach.
Coach, hey, coach. Hey, we need to play.
All right, so
hey,
then we're going to go to another one. So that was the one he did right after the LL video. And this is another one right here. This is if you had an honest therapist.
How's it going, Mr. Donahue? So, Mr. Donahue, when your girlfriend left you for this scammer, did you ever think about hurting yourself? Breathe through your nose and out your mouth. What you been doing? Still got that gambling problem. That's noted. So where were you last weekend? Strip club. That's what I done told you about them strip clubs. Them strip clubs, that's their energy. It's a lot of demons out here. It's a spiritual warfare, bro. You better get right. I'm trying to tell you. At the end of the day, bro, time waits on no man, bro. Still worried about these OnlyFans girls. Don't make me get in your face. Hey, bro, you talking about this woman, bro. Get your life together, bro. Get your head right, bro. We ain't tripping about no bop. You crying about a bop. I shit you in your... How often do...
So this is kind of like an idea of what this guy does, okay, to kind of get people laughing. And, you know, he's just a funny guy. This is what he does. He's funny. He enjoys life, and he laughs his ass off, okay? So for those of y'all who thought that LL Cool J's son has now come out and said that that's his son, that is not his son, okay? In actuality, LL Cool J does have a son named Najee Smith, okay, who has been in trouble with the law at some point. But that is the real LL Cool J son, Najee Smith. Okay, so LL does in fact have a son, but this guy, Benji, Love Benji, is not him. But make sure y'all go over to Instagram and subscribe. And clearly, what Jaguar and them wasn't picking up and catching on to, which I think Jaguar did catch on, but Legina is not catching on to, is that, you know, hey, this was a parody, okay, against Legina, obviously. Okay, hey, my long lost dad is, you know, LL Cool J. So, I look like him, and he does look like LL. He really does, but that's not really his son. But it was definitely a parody to kind of laugh this whole thing off and say, hey, somebody else coming out saying that they got a long lost celebrity parent. So do I, kind of thing. And I think, like I said, I really do think Jaguar knows that. Okay. I think she completely understands that. I think she's fully aware of what's happening over there with this situation. But I think she's milking this as much as she can to get Legina to continue doing what Legina's doing and getting her money on Philadelphia TV. So on Philadelphia Network. So yeah, that is my thing with that. But no, LL Cool J's real son is Najee Smith. It is not that guy. All right. But I definitely wanted to at least touch bases on that and talk about that real quick because I thought it was crazy. And speaking of that, okay, and Legina and everything, Sean Davy Way actually went live, or he put up a video on the very same subject that I was talking about yesterday, which was Marquez Houston's teen bride. Okay, shout out to Sean Davy Way. I am going to put a video link to the video in my description box below because I want you guys to hear some of the information that I heard on there as well. But we are actually going to go over some of that stuff right now. I actually wanted to touch bases on a couple of these things, and then we're going to get into Tiff P's show. Again, there's just a couple of comments from Tiff P's show that I wanted to get into, but I definitely wanted to talk about this situation real quick before we do. So again, shout out to Sean Davy Way, but I definitely wanted to at least go to some of these parts of the video that I thought was absolutely nuts. Okay, so one of the things that I had noticed, according to Sean's video, is that this girl who I was talking about yesterday was, in fact, I had made it very clear that I definitely thought that this girl was underage when she started dating Marquez, okay, or Marcus Houston. Come to find out she was, okay? And there's a whole story around and surrounding whether or not she was a runaway teen at one time, okay? So I don't know about that. I don't have full, I can't verify that, so I'm not going to speak on that as of yet. I have heard about it. I actually heard about it yesterday before I even went live and talked about it, but I can't verify it. So that is the reason why I haven't put it out there. What I can verify is that she is a Jehovah's Witness, that her family are Jehovah's Witnesses, and that Marquez joined the Jehovah's Witnesses while dating her. Okay, that is what I can confirm. But I also can confirm now, based off of video evidence, that she was in fact a minor when she started dating Marquez. Okay, Marquez Houston. So we're going to go ahead and look at that now. I'm going to remove this so that I can share my screen and I can present to you what Sean Davy Way was talking about. And this particular part of the video, because I want you guys to see what I saw. Okay. And what
knew Maya before this Jehovah's Witness convention meeting that they were at. Here is.
So again, this is fair use. And I want to show a picture of Marquez and this girl Maya, and then show her on a video.
He never knew Maya before this Jehovah's Witness convention.
Now in that video, it showed that she had braces on, and I'm going to show that again. Let me go back a little bit.
With Mia braces being on, that's prior to them dating. Marcus Houston states that he never knew Maya before this Jehovah's Witness convention meeting that they were at.
Hold on, let me go back again. I'm going to play that one more time because I want you guys to hear clearly what Sean was saying.
For public,
again, this is fair.
Mia's braces are gone. So if you look here at this photograph, this is when they first started, publicly dating, and Mia has no braces. So with Mia braces being on, that's letting you know that this was prior to them dating. Marcus Houston states that he never knew Maya before this Jehovah's Witness convention meeting that they were at. Here is proof Look at Maya sitting at this table with Marcus Houston. She has braces. Her having braces means you knew her between the age of 15 and 16. False. Who was Maya hanging out with? Chrissy Stokes. Who was she allegedly living with? Chrissy Stokes. When Maya went missing, and as a 15-year-old, when no one has heard from her, she is still listed as missing in Oregon, and her mother still has no communication with her daughter. So, although her mother lost custody of her to her grandmother, because that's where she was allegedly going to live, she ended up being placed. And she ran away from foster care, allegedly. And then she pops back on the scene, engaged to Marcus Houston as an 18-year-old. Who paid for her braces? Who paid for all of these things and took her to the appointments? Who did all of that?
Okay. So I wanted to show all that. And again, shout out to Sean Davy Way. I'm going to put a link to that video in my description box below. Make sure that you guys go over there and check that out. But honey, that proved to me, and I knew it. Like I said, I knew that she had to have been dating him before the age of 18. Okay. And that she was definitely a minor when she was dating Marquez. And that proved it right there. The fact that he said that he met this girl at a Jehovah's Witness convention and she was 18 years old. Well, he took photos where they took photos where they were publicly dating. Okay. And she did not have braces on her teeth. Okay. This was after they claimed that she was 18 years old. Okay. But clearly she was with him prior to that. And according to records, she has had braces from the age of 15 is when she first got her braces, and she got them off when she was 17, almost 18. Okay. So how is it that you're sitting at a table with this girl all hugged up and stuff, having an intimate dinner with her while she got braces in her mouth? That's clear that you were dating this woman before she was an adult. So again, shout out to Sean Davy Way for the excellent commentary and for the information that he pulled out. I was going off of what I know and knowledge that I have about the JWs, knowledge that I have about how they hide pedophiles, knowledge that I have about other women who have experienced this same thing with older men in the Kingdom Hall. And now we've got evidence and proof of it. So it just is what it is. I don't know what's going to come of this. I hope that, that this girl has peace. I hope that she will be okay. But, it just is what it is at this point. It really isn't much we can do. The girl is 23, and, and her parents didn't do anything about this matter. So there really isn't much we can do. But again, shout out to Sean Davy Way, who was able to talk about this and really get some information on this matter. Okay. Now, guys, let's go ahead and get quickly into this Secktah news because I've actually got to leave in a few. I may, in fact, come back later and do the rest of it on the night ride because I've got some other stuff that I want to talk about as well regarding Legina Gold and Jaguar Wright. But I don't think I'll be able to squeeze all of that into this. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick so that we can talk about Tiff P. Shout out to the godmother. And again, let me go ahead and show you guys where Tiff P is. Make sure that you guys do go over to her channel and make sure that you are subscribed. We do have her at about 316 subscribers. Make sure that you go ahead and hit the like button, also hit the subscribe and the notification bell, and make sure that you share the video as well, okay? Tiff P is one of our household members here in our sector, and we absolutely love her. We call her the godmother. She is very kind-hearted and sweet, and very intelligent too. She is an attorney, and she knows what she's talking about when it comes to law and when it comes to lots of things. So we oftentimes tune into her and just listen to her advice because she has lots of great advice for everyone. But today she gave some advice and also allowed some people such as Rev G to get in there and tell his stuff and say whatever he wanted. But there were also some really interesting comments from other people that I just kind of want to touch base on. One of the things that Rev G definitely did, guys, okay, was say that he is not, DMP and KRP are not his family members. But I don't believe him, okay? I absolutely believe they are his family. I absolutely believe that they have come around to purposely create drama and create chaos in the sector. And we are most definitely going to talk about that today. So let's go ahead and get into it, guys. So, Grand Rising, the beautiful Bernice, I truly appreciate you for being in the building. Sorry, guys, that I wasn't in the chat room as much. I'm just trying to get through the show this morning because I really do have some really important things I got to get to in about 20, 30, well, about 30, 40 minutes or so. But shout out to you guys for being in the building. You said it's understandable. You say, Grand Rising, Samba Queen, I appreciate you. You said, good morning, Miss T. Pre, beautiful Bernice, and Miss Murph. You said, whoa, I know you was talking about what I was talking about. Greetings, Miss T. Pre. Hey, Living Lights. I appreciate you being in the building. You said, hi, Samba and Miss Murph. You said, LMBO. You said, he looks like LL. Yeah, he really does look like him. If anybody can say that they was somebody's child, it would definitely be that dude because he does look like him. But then once you see other videos that he does, it's like, okay, he has his eyes, but that's kind of like it, really. You said, that's what I be wanting to do sometimes. You said, oh, my bad. You said, hey, Living Life versus Samba. You said, he really does. And you said, my mind be like, your husband is cheating and won't stop. Leave his ass. But, of course, that won't do. Okay. You said, good morning, Samba. You said, let me find the name of the article that said he had her in hiding until she was of legal age. He has denied it. Okay. Let me make sure you send that to me to 11life7842@gmail.com if you do get that. Okay. And we'll go over that some more. I'm going to look a little deeper into that situation because what I'm trying to find is whether or not she was a missing child. Okay. And if that is the case, whew, man, I'm going to put that on my true crime channel for real. You said, that's one disgusting dude. I can't stand him. Yeah. You said, is Marquez Houston saying they haven't been together for 10 years? He is denying that they were together for 10 years. If they were, that would have made her 13, right? I was saying more along the lines of 8 years or 7, like she was 15 or 16. And I think I was right. So they may be stretching it a little bit with the 10 years, but 8 years ain't too much off, you know? You said there were a lot of stories about Chris Stokes back in the day. There definitely was. You said the article is scandalous. Oh, wow. Hey, I Am Human. I appreciate you being in the building. Shout out to you. You said, thanks for watching, everyone. Please like, share, subscribe, and join the Black Lounge Entertainment. Exactly. Make sure y'all hit that join button. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into some of this commentary from the Godmother. Shout out to Tiff P. And again, like I said, Rev G was out there trying to act like, you know, DMP and KRP are not really his family members, but I don't believe his ass. I definitely believe that they are 100%, and I have many reasons to believe that. They've spent a great deal of time in this sector attempting to support particular people, and it's only him, AAS, and breaking the culture of silence. So anybody else, you know, they're kind of up for grabs for it all, but that's pretty much what's been going on. So we're going to start at 1 hour and 27 minutes. The video is about 2 hours, 34 minutes long. So you want to make sure that you go over to Tiff P and you make sure that you are subscribed and shared, and make sure that you catch all of her shows. You hit that that notification bell. Okay. She does generally go live late at night. But she is in like the Central Time, so you want to make sure that you're checking her out. And just kind of, if you can go back and catch the replay on her, just acknowledge her and let her know in the chats. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and start with this part right here, because it was a chat that Chat Lives had said. Shout out to one of my favorite loungers, Chat Lives. He said that if you step on stage, people are going to speak about what they saw and heard. I've had Taharka Bey in my comments now offended that we are discussing Tariq's pimp hand collision with his head. So shout out to Chat Lives for that comment, because yes, I agree, right? It took me a little bit of time to kind of come to terms with that. I think a lot of people have a hard time coming to terms with that as content creators, right? That sometimes we really cannot grasp the fact that people are going to listen, people are going to watch, and people are going to come up with their own thoughts and commentary on you. Okay, they're going to form an opinion about you. But I've come to terms with that. I think I'm okay with that. I think most people are. But unfortunately, we got Rev G out here and AAS out here who are still in this mindset that people are not allowed to have an opinion about them. And if they do have an opinion about them, or if they have a comment about them, then somehow that warrants them contacting their job, or warrants them trying to get them fired, or warrants them trying to post pictures of their family members, or doxing their address, or doxing their kid's school, or different things like that. Like somehow, if you have commentary about them, that gives them the right to start looking up your information. Okay. I don't understand where they get that mindset from. But yes, absolutely. If you put yourself on front stage, if you talk about stuff, if you get in these comment sections and you have conversation back and forth with people, or if you're going back and forth and doing various things, you are bound to be talked the fuck about. Okay. It is just what it is. It is going to be, it's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the game. If you don't want to be talked about, why are you here? Right? Like literally, if you don't want anybody to have anything to say about you, the best thing is to not be there. Like that's it. But people are going to speak on you. They're going to have commentary. And sometimes that commentary might not be favorable to you. Okay. But it's okay. Now you are entitled to respond. You're entitled to speak back. You're entitled to defend yourself. But what makes it strange is when you think in defending yourself that you are supposed to be trying to get them fired from their job, or defending yourself is contacting, getting on Facebook and hacking into their page and getting pictures of their grandparents and pictures of their parents and pictures of their kids and stuff like that, and posting that and thinking that is going to stop them from having commentary about you. That's going to give them more reason to have commentary about you. So again, if you don't want nobody talking about you, get the fuck up off this platform. Like it's that easy, right? Now let's go ahead and go on to another comment that he said. Oh, Rev G says. So Rev G goes on and says some really dumbass shit at this part right here. He said, but it's not about getting folks fired. The simple truth is that folks need to leave people alone. Yes, absolutely, sir. You and AAS need to learn how to leave people the fuck alone. Because as long as y'all are not leaving people alone, people are going to clap back at your ass. Like literally. And you think in them clapping back at you, you can call their job. I have heard you specifically speak on trying to call my job, even though I had already left the bank. Okay, I found it so laughable, it wasn't even funny. Even though I had already left the bank, you were out here telling people, you and AAS, I remember y'all having a conversation specifically about trying to contact my job and trying to contact boards in order to get licenses taken from me, because I thought you were an asshole, because I called you a dickhead, because I think you're dumb. Okay, because I think you're stupid for the stuff you do, because I call you out on your bullshit. So that warranted you contacting WSFS Bank. Okay, like even though I don't know if y'all ever did or not, but you felt you were telling people that that's what you need to go do. I remember that specifically. I remember that conversation. I remember you having those conversations about multiple people in the sector. Multiple people in the sector. So it is about getting people fired. It is about trying to mess with someone's livelihood, getting in the middle of how people live. You are trying to do that simply because you are a piss poor ass, dusty ass motherfucker who can't take when people tell you about your dusty ass self. Like that's literally what this is about. It's not that anybody is really physically trying to harm you or anybody is really trying to do something to you. Just as easily as you tune in and break your neck to watch everybody, which by the way, I know you're watching. Hey, how you doing, sir? But yeah, while you're always breaking your neck to watch everybody's shit, you can just as easily tune out and not watch any of this. But you're choosing to come in, you and your kids, your dusty ass kids, come in and choosing to watch what everybody has to say. And as soon as somebody has anything negative to say about you, here you are jumping out the window with this, I'm such a victim. Oh my God, I'm such a victim. I'm calling your job. I'm calling this person. I'm calling that person. Like, are you a man or are you not? Like, you do you have balls or not? Like everything that happens with you, you're just so fragile. You can't be told anything. You can't be anything. Nothing can be said about you. Nothing. It doesn't matter what it is. You're just going to fall apart anytime anybody says anything about you, to the point that you feel like you need to call people's jobs. So the simple truth, sir, yes, you're right, is to leave people the fuck alone. Why are your kids coming over to my chat room fucking with me? Why are your kids coming over to other people's platforms fucking with them because those people don't like you? So what? Who cares? There's a lot of motherfuckers that don't fuck with me. You ain't ever gonna see my kids hopping up on here telling you bitches about yourself, because none of them fucking care what you bitches think. And until you motherfuckers actually put your hands on their mother, then they will have a fucking problem. Other than that, you hoes is dust to them. They don't give a fuck. For real. It's facts. They know I can handle myself. I don't need them to get up here and troll and jump in y'all chat rooms and talk shit and do this and do that and do all this other shit. They don't got to do that. There's no reason for it. But you, sir, you feel like your kids need to get up in here talking shit to different people because you can't handle the fucking truth about your dusty ass. And that's unfortunate. But we're going to go ahead and go on to the next comment. Let me go ahead and check y'all comments real quick. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate everybody for being in the building. You said Samba Queen Morning. Is DMP and KMP their real names or abbreviations? So DMP stands for Duncan Manny Palmer. We don't know what KMP stands for yet, or KRP is the other name. I don't know what that stands for as of yet. You say, yes, it's awful how she is targeting Stephanie Collins for over 3 years now. Yeah, we about to get into that because I'm going to get into what happened with Stephanie in this story too, because Rev G was going and trying to go in on her too. You said exactly, T. Pre. They AAS threatened KKC's insurance license if he was still working. Exactly, just simply because niggas don't like them. You said as soon as I tap in, all I hear is you calling somebody a dickhead. Okay. What's up, Propane? Shout out to you. Hey, Crafted Legacy. I appreciate you being in the building. You said Propane. You said, hey, Knowledge TV. You said they love to inconvenience people. That's the only reason they call people's jobs. Exactly. He talking about is not about getting folks fired. Yes, the fuck it is. You would literally love to get any of these people fired if you possibly could. So absolutely, it's about getting people fired. So let's go ahead and move on to Chat Live's message again. And what he said that beautiful, anybody that gets fired because of a phone call from a stranger needs to get a lawyer. Those companies must have been looking for a reason to get rid of them or something. Yes, so anybody out here who's claiming that they have been fired, right, behind what AAS is doing or what Rev G is doing, more than likely the people that you work for were already looking to get rid of your ass. So I ain't even gonna hold you, okay? I've heard this before. I'm not gonna say confirm, deny. I'm not gonna say any of this stuff. All I'm saying is if in the event these dusty motherfuckers are able to call up to your job and they walk you out the fucking door behind what these dusty motherfuckers are saying, your job was already looking to get rid of you. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move on from that comment. Okay, yeah. Now let's get on to what else happened here. He said, Rev G said, if you leave people alone, you don't have to worry about your job being called. No, Rev G, if you log the fuck out of this fuck shit, right? You don't have to worry about calling people's jobs for no reason. How about that? Like, does that make more sense? It makes more sense to me that you would just log the fuck off. Okay? Because motherfuckers are going to keep talking about your dusty ass. Like, we're still going to talk about your missing teeth. We're still going to talk about your dusty kids. We're still going to talk about your fucked up ways. We don't care how you feel. Okay, especially those of us that work for ourselves. Okay, we don't give a fuck about how you feel. So it makes more sense, sir, for you to log off. It makes more sense, sir, for you not to be breaking your neck to be tuning into everybody's shit. That makes more sense than for you to be speed dialing everybody's job trying to get them fired. That is what makes more sense. So no, nobody has to worry about their job being called. We're not going to live under fear of our job being called because you don't like what's being said about you. That's just that. It is what it is. And like I said, you do not have to be tuned in to any of these people's channels who may or may not be talking about your dusty ass. Okay. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and go on from there. You said, and Beautiful says, and shout out to Beautiful. You said, but why does some need to lose their job over YouTube? Exactly. There's no reason to lose a job over this. Okay. Yes, honey. I'm going to talk about you. You're not going to like what I said. Okay. But that doesn't mean I have to stop working and I can't pay my bills because of that. Okay. Because if that's the case, then you need to lose your job because you've been talking about motherfuckers for years on this motherfucker. Okay. And you did lose your goddamn job over AAS's bullshit and her pulling you into some nonsense that you couldn't explain to your job. Okay. So you did lose your job over this shit. And now you're stupid enough to still be working, still be online, and your supervisor got to walk in and catch you because they know about what you're doing out here too. Okay. So if anybody's losing jobs, it is you, Rev G, and only you. And what are you going to do about that? Like you said, stop fucking with people, right? Stop messing with people. Stop giving people a hard time. Stop doing the fuck shit that you're doing. But as long as you're doing the fuck shit that you're doing, this is why you're getting the results that you're getting. Okay. And let me get to one more additional comment that Stephanie said. Hold on. There was another one. Okay. So Rev G says, at chat lives, leaving voicemails, sending emails, posting random comments on their social media accounts. Okay. So what he's talking about is he's grouping everybody together to come at Stephanie Collins. Okay. And saying that she's doing all this stuff. And she's like, I ain't never did that. And I'm going to show y'all where she said that because I know Stephanie didn't do that bullshit. He's not that fucking important. He said, Beautiful, it's just like lunch recess in elementary school. All the class are on the yard at the same time. Okay. Don't make no fucking sense how this nigga is. I'm trying to find Stephanie's comment. Okay. So she says, I hope I'm not being implied that I've contacted a church regarding anyone on YouTube. I absolutely have not. Stephanie Collins is not out here contacting anybody's job, contacting anybody's church, contacting anybody's situations or any circumstances going on. She does not have to do that. That is y'all, Rev G. Y'all do shit like this. You and AAS. This is y'all thing. This is y'all love to do shit like this. Y'all live for shit like this. Okay. So no, nobody else is out here doing the fuck shit that y'all are doing. And when are y'all going to change y'all ways so that people will stop talking about you? Okay. Like KKC said, the bleeding stops when you stop it. When you motherfuckers shut the fuck up is when niggas will stop fucking talking about you. But as long as y'all keep talking, we gonna keep talking. Okay? Because it's not a fucking crime to talk about you bitches. Like, period. And you can try to put everybody's job on speed dial, trying to call their job, trying to get them fired, trying to do this and trying to do that. That is not stopping anybody from talking about you. It is only making you look like an idiot. Like literally, it's making you look like a fool. Okay? And trust and believe the energy that you put out in the universe will come back to you tenfold. So if you're putting positive energy out in the universe, it's going to come back to you. If you're putting negative energy out in the universe, especially if you don't have a reason to be putting negative energy in the universe, it is going to keep coming back, keep coming back. And every day you're waking up in some muck and in some nonsense and in some problems and some new issues and everything else because you are putting that into the universe and you are going to keep getting that back. And that is the morning opinion for today, guys. I have got to go. I do truly appreciate you guys for being in the building. Make sure that you guys are hitting the like button. And again, I really do thank you guys for everything that you do and all that you do when you come in to support the show. I am going to may come back for the night ride because I have a lot more information that I wanted to share. And also I wanted to go over some additional stuff that has been happening in the sector and in other sectors as well. I particularly wanted to talk about Legina Gold and what's been going on with her and Jaguar. And we're going to go over that. And we're also probably going to go over the Philadelphia TV interviews with Legina, because I did go ahead and subscribe just so I can get the tea for y'all. Okay, so I may go into the night ride with that today. If not, we'll go ahead and do the morning opinion tomorrow. But again, I truly appreciate you guys for being in the building. Shout out to y'all. You said they play dirty and think we play the same. You said I'm a black man from the hood. I don't care nothing about doxing. I learned that here. Okay. Don't nobody give a fuck about that shit. All right, y'all. Well, I will holler at y'all later. And again, like I said, I may be back for the night ride. If not, we'll go ahead and do that in the morning. But peace, guys. And thank you guys for watching.